General Granger versus General Alexander, but I can't build any units, so no units from the command center, supply center, barracks, war factory, or airfield. Now, this was a bit of a shock, but I actually got this on the first attempt. So yeah, what you see is what I got. And I'm in utter disbelief as to how this went down. This should not have played out the way it did. So right now we got our first power plant. Now we're going for some supply center scaffolds. That's going to be the bait for Alexander's A10 strike. So the A10 strike is prompted when the hold the line is also prompted in the top left corner. So that's going to happen in about 3 seconds. 1 minute 20 on the timer in the top right. And yep, there's the hold the line. So I'm free to cancel those scaffolds before the A10s hit their mark. I usually wait a little bit longer just to be sure, really. So yeah, you're going to see the A10s. They're going to hit that bit of land there. No harm done to me. Now we've got our own supply center, which is going to spawn a Chinook, so that's fair game. That's not a rule break. And I've got a barracks because I want to get the capture upgrade. Now with that, the Rangers that are going to spawn from destroyed buildings, those are going to be the ones that can capture the oil derricks later on for us. So that's why we want the capture upgrade, because we still have access to those Rangers. And Rangers from destroyed buildings, again, we're not building those, so that is not a rule break. Okay, so going for the control rods, because General Granger's power situation is the worst out of the 3 generals. His power plants only give you 5 power, and then control rods give you another 5 power on top of that. So right now we're building our second Patriot. I've got a third Patriot scaffold right in front. That's more of a bait, because when the Aurora bombers come, I don't want them to do too much damage to me. That's why I've done that. And I don't want them to hurt the dozer either, because that's my one and only dozer that we're going to be using here today. Now, I use my Patriot to destroy my own barracks, so that spawns the 2 Rangers. I was thinking about going with a quick capture on the oil derricks as well, but having said that, I think me destroying my own barracks was kind of a mistake, because the bombers are going to do it for me anyway. I'm going to get Rangers from the bombers doing all of the work for me, so I probably shouldn't have done that. So right now, building a new Patriot. So that's going to be a Chinook related Patriot that we're building in that left side. So Alexander does like to sneak in some Chinooks, and basically the Rangers and the sentry drone that's in there can ruin my base. So I want to make sure that my base is well secured. Now I did lose the command center from that Aurora bomber strike right there, so I got to be careful now, because I don't have any satellite scan, and I don't have any map, so it's going to be harder for me to know what's actually coming here. And what we've got going on right now, so I've got 2 Rangers, going to go for the capture on the artillery platform, and that's going to help take out the EMP Patriot that's nearby as well. That's also going to get us some general points at the same time. Now, I was holding off on capturing those oil derricks because I wanted to try and defend the area a little bit more first before we actually commit to capturing that. And the money situation isn't doing too bad either. We're still sitting on $3,900. And with the command center destroyed, we ended up getting a bunch of Rangers out of that. And I ended up spreading them out so then I could use those as bait for the next Aurora bomber strike that was coming. And also it's good bait for the Comanches too. But I got to deal with the power situation. I wasn't paying attention. I let the power run out. So that was a little bit of a mistake there. And I've noticed the particle cannon is also coming. Now I know that particle cannon is going to aim for the barracks. So I build a scaffold, I cancel it, no harm done. Now with the particle cannon strike, it also means that Alexander's going to send in some A10s very soon. So that's why I decided to stop building the strategy center, and I was holding on the stop icon. I was predicting that the A10s were going to hit the strategy center because that's going to be the most expensive thing that I've got. Because it's going to factor in both the strategy center, which is $2,500, and then the dozer itself being $1,000. That's $3,500 right there. And yeah, Alexander goes on cash value with those A10 strikes, so it's kind of easy to bait him out if you know what you're doing.
New construction, always ready. Finished. Ooh, can't do that.
So I lost a little bit of time because I had to cancel that strategy center, but we did save the cash. We're going to build a new one. And with Air Force General, you can also gain access to a carpet bomb when you have a strategy center. It does cost you a general point, but it comes at rank 1. So you don't need to do any damage to Alexander in order to get it. Which is great, because we're going to need that carpet bomb later on.
Why don't you just give up? I have better things.
Beautiful. So I got the strategy center up and going for the carpet bomb, going straight for the supply center. And reason why we want to do that is because Alexander's supply center can't be rebuilt, because it would mean she'd need to send a Chinook over to put the dozer in, and yeah, she doesn't do that. And unfortunately for me, the supply center survived, so I aimed the carpet bomb a little bit wrong. We got an Avenger out of it, so that's something, but now it means I gotta wait another 2.5 minutes for the next one, and hope that her next batch of bombers and Comanches and all of that doesn't hit me in the meantime. But yeah, we want to get rid of that supply center so then we could go for the airfield later on. You need a supply center to build an airfield and a war factory. So if you just cut off her tech tree, then you can really cut off her attacks there.
Ready for action. Taking new position. Special forces here. Army's elite.
And yeah, those 3 Rangers, I moved them away from the oil derrick because I didn't want them to. I didn't want to attract too much attention for the bombers, the Comanches, or the A10s as well for the next time they come.
That's quite a base you have going there, General. Oh, you did.
And yeah, with the next set of particle cannons, you got 2 this time. And yeah, I've got the barracks scaffold, so that's going to be the bait out for that one. I wasn't quite sure where the second one was going to go. I was thinking it was going to go for one of my power plants. So I wanted to make sure that I was good on power for when that happens. And yeah, she aimed at the one that, one of the ones that had control rods too. Power situation is still fine. Now, as you can see, I've got a whole bunch of Patriot scaffolds. So the reason why I've done that is because I'm using the Patriot scaffolds to bait out the A10 strikes now. So the Patriots, they cost $1,000 a piece. And because they're small, it means you can cluster a whole bunch of them together and use that to bait out those A10s. Now, I wasn't sure if it was going to hit the one at the 25%, that's why I kept it there, but I did lose that. Money in this battle isn't tight at all, so I wasn't too worried about that. And I noticed something. She hasn't hit me with any Comanches or Aurora bombers since that first strike that killed my command center. And I'm like, okay, something's definitely up here. She would have attacked me by now, so I wonder, what am I doing? What have I done that has that's not triggered any attacks from her? So that's what I was wondering at the time. But because I was also wondering that, I was like, okay, well, maybe it's got something to do with the distance. Maybe my Patriot is back enough, so the one next to the resources, maybe that's back enough that it won't prompt any new attacks. And yeah, I started building a particle cannon, And super weapons can trigger attacks from the bombers and the Comanches. But yeah, I thought to myself, well, let's build it. And then when we actually do destroy the supply center, we could just use the particle cannon to destroy the airfield in just like a 1-2 attack. And yeah, we do have the carpet bomb that's almost ready to go here. So if we just aim the carpet bomb right, then the next attack we can do can take out that airfield.
Good area.
I warn you not to underestimate
This time
me.
round, I aim the carpet bomb so it's not as centered. It's like the way that the carpet bomb actually lets its bombs out.
Everything seems to be
It's like
going
it
my way.
lets out a good chunk of it right at the beginning, and another good chunk right at the end. I don't know if I explained that very well, but in any case, we did destroy the supply center, and there's the Chinook sneak that I was telling you about. So 2 Patriots weren't enough, but I ended up setting my strategy center to bombardment, and that was the reason why I did that, was because I wanted to have the cannon on the end also deal with the Chinook strikes. So it's just another added safety measure there, because I'm not really going to need to do hold the line or search and destroy. I don't really think those things would have helped me all that much.
Ready for action. Heading out. Let's build. Bring on the scaffolding. Sounds good.
And yeah, here we go again. So I'm doing Patriot bait once again.
My own road.
So I got 6 this time. And then we're going for barracks bait for the particle cannon. And then another power plant. That's also going to be bait. So we're just baiting at all the weapons that Alexander's got. I was a little concerned for my strategy center because she can aim her particle cannons at the strategy center. It's usually the one on the right goes for like barracks. The one that's in the middle would go for like arms dealers and war factories, and then the one up top would go for your tech buildings. Like that's sort of the pattern that I've noticed, like going, like if I'm playing as like GLA or something like that, you know?
Keep 'em busy.
Yep, just like that. A-10s have done no damage.
On the job.
And again, since Alexander's not doing anything to me, I decided to go for a second particle cannon. And yeah, I'm just... Again, this is just me wondering, like, what is she doing? Where's her Aurora bombers? Where's her Comanches? How far can I expand here? So all of these thoughts running through my head as I'm going. And yeah, the second particle cannon that we're building now, it seems a little bit of a risk because that's going to be probably one of the most forward sort of particle cannons that we've got so far. And I've only got 1 Patriot to defend. So if I get hit, then we're going to get killed. And I've got no command center either, so that means no general powers, except for the carpet bomb, which goes with the strategy center.
Always ready. Any more projects? Loud and clear.
Particle cannon ready.
Yep, so particle cannon's ready, and yeah, as I was saying, I'm just using the particle cannon on the airfield, but I aimed it at one of her Comanches because we do need to get the general points up. I wanted to take out as many of her things as I possibly could before she does anything to me. Now, you just saw that she sent a Comanche my way, so I've got to be careful of that.
Unit lost.
Now, since we did destroy quite a bit of her stuff, I did get the rank up, and I did get the A-10 strike myself. And there's that strategy center coming in clutch right there. But I do need a command center so then I can get the A-10 strike on board. The more weapons we have, the better. And yeah, I thought maybe the carpet bomb would make it here, but I was probably getting a little bit too overconfident.
On the go.
And yeah, just got to keep in mind, since there's no airfield, that means no Comanches, no Aurora bombers. So I only got hit by Auroras once in this whole battle. That sort of thing doesn't happen normally in an Alexander fight.
We're waiting for you, General. What's keeping you?
Yeah. All finished. Made in the US of A.
Yep, so command center's back online. We've got the level 2 A10 strike. We can use that anytime we want to. But we do need to bait out the particle cannons once again. So again, we're going with the Patriot bait, and then we're going with the barracks and power plant to bait out the particle cannons. So every cycle of particles that happens, that's what we're going to do. Now, she did do a Chinook strike, and yeah, first thought, okay, let's just A10 that bunch. And yeah, the reason why we went for that in the first place was because I didn't actually have an answer for it. She could have destroyed my command center, which meant that I could have utilized the Rangers that spawned to deal with that, but at the same time, that means that I would have lost the same A10 strike. So I could have picked a target with the A10s, then let the command center go. Or I could have just done what I did right there and used it defensively. But yeah, I don't regret that choice. I think I made a good call there by just going straight for level 2 A10 to defend. And the A10 strikes, it's not the most useful general power to have in this battle because of how heavily defended Alexander's base is. It's really better to use it for, you know, picking off Avenger, or picking off one Avenger and going for base defenses. So like there's an Avenger in the middle of the map, you could probably get away with a A10 strike there because one Avenger's not going to be able to counteract all of the A10 missiles that come. Alrighty, so since we've knocked out the airfield, we're going for a third particle cannon. By this point, we can just build a whole bunch of particle cannons, and we can also expand as well. We don't have to worry about compacting our base or anything like that.
I'd attack if
Yeah,
I
my
were you, General.
power is in the
If you
yellow,
wait,
so I've
then
got to be
I'll just
careful
have
of
one more
that.
superweapon to
Because
fire
if
at
she
you.
aims at the wrong power plant and knocks me out, then it means there's going to be more delays in me fixing the power situation.
That one's done.
So I do have 2 particle cannons ready to go, but I thought to myself, well, I could go for the command center and destroy that,
See if I care.
but I didn't think that was the right play at that point in the match. I thought to myself, well, if I destroy that, there's the chance she could rebuild for one, but I thought, what if we just pick off some of her buildings and try and get the general points up? That way we can do more attacks later on. So we could do level 3 A10, we could do fuel air bomb, Spectre gunship. Again, these powers aren't the most useful on this map because of how heavily defended she is, but they do damage if you put them in the right spot.
Particle cannon activated.
This is my base. Get out.
And yeah, with the other particle, we're just going for the power plants in the top right. She can't rebuild those. And I went for the EMP Patriot as well. Again, we're just building up those general points. I could have gone for the supply drop zone and the 2 power plants that were nearby, but I didn't want her dozers to move from that spot. Because we destroyed the war factory that had one of her dozers, she's built a new dozer, and now they're both clustered together. So now when I do my next big attack with particle cannons, I can also get the 2 dozers in at the same time.
Getting to work. Bring on the scaffolding. Make my own road. Made in the US of A.
So now we've got the next Patriot scaffold bait, and yeah, she threw me off there. She fired one of her particle cannons at the power plant that was intact. Normally, she was doing 2 particles on one power plant and then the other on the barracks scaffold. So, yeah, she did shut me down for a little bit, but the dozer's intact. He can still fix the problem. The worst thing would be if we lost the dozer. If we lost the dozer, I'd have to sell off a particle cannon, or maybe sell off some Patriots, and then try and maintain the power as much as we could, and then try and shut her down as well to shut down her particle cannons. So, with the next rank up, I went for the Spectre gunship. I didn't think that the level 3 A10s were going to be that useful. I thought maybe if we just have the extra weapon, that should be okay. And Ranger drop, again, I don't think it'd be useful in this circumstance. And we also have a boatload of cash that we're sitting on, so we don't really need to capture any more oil derricks since we captured the 2 at our base pretty early on. And yeah, with that Spectre, we took out the Avenger in the middle. That's more just so we can have a better chance of getting our planes into a base for those future strikes with the carpet bomb and the A-10 strikes.
Upgrade complete.
I warn you not to underestimate me.
Upgrade complete. Particle cannon ready.
Want to make some improvements?
I've been analyzing your tactics, and I'm just amazed. Do you even have any
Yep,
tactics?
so there goes particle cannon number 5. And yeah, building more power plants just so we can keep the power online in case something goes wrong. Now we do have 2 particle cannons that are ready. And I'm thinking about my next target here.
Any more projects? Clocked in. Bring on the scaffolding.
And yeah, I was about to go for some Patriot bait because the next set of particle cannons were coming, but then I changed my mind. I thought to myself, well, if we just take out the command center, she won't be able to launch the A-10 strike. And then that means that there's no real need for me to do Patriot bait anymore. So I launched one at the command center and I launched the other at the 2 dozers, thinking that my second particle cannon would be enough to finish the job, but it wasn't, and she was able to quickly build 2 new dozers, so I had to act quickly. Luckily I still had a spare particle cannon that I could use.
I don't appreciate
Our base is under attack.
I just had to hope that the rest of the particle cannon could get over the line and take out those 2 dozers, which it did, thankfully.
Laying the foundation.
And yeah, just like that, there's no more A-10 strikes. So this was me looking at the map, thinking, are they coming? Are they on the way?
Not to underestimate
But yeah, all she really has is those 3 patrolling Comanches. The Avenger, which can't get to me anyway,
Particle cannon
and
activated.
the particle cannons. That's all she's really got to work with by this point. And yeah, right now we're just going to use our own particle cannons to knock out her power, and then we'll eventually get there. We'll eventually beat her. So yeah, I wasn't too concerned about if the general power planes hit their mark or not. I just wanted to see if I could do some damage. The particle cannons that we got that are on the way were going to do the job. So it's just, it's really just a time saver if the planes hit their mark. So yeah, Carpet Bomb on the Avenger, I thought that was a done deal. Spectre Gunship, I didn't have a lot of confidence in that one. And the A-10 Strike, I thought, yeah, maybe. There are 3 of them, after all. So even if one got frozen on the cliff, the other 2 would still get there. Which they did. They took out a power plant and a Patriot. Wasn't worried about the Patriot, it's the power plant we want. And yeah, we've still got the 5 particle cannons. Closest one's going to come in 46 seconds, and then the others will be like a minute away each. So all we got to do is wait on all of those to come, and then we just blitz it with particle cannons.
That one's done. What's the story?
Upgrade
Need a point,
complete.
man.
Upgrade
Take a new
complete.
position. Take a new position.
Alright, now I am building some spare power just in case I end up losing track of my base and her particle cannons as I'm attacking her. So that's why I'm doing that. Now I went for the Moab. Again, wasn't very confident if it was going to hit the mark or not, but again, we got the 5 particle cannons. So the Moab didn't hit.
Upgrade complete.
No big deal.
Particle cannon activated.
So next particle cannon, we go for the 4 power plants, we go for the strategy center. Done deal, no problem there. And that was enough to knock out a power. So another thing I could have done was I probably could have used the particle cannons on the power and then used the planes later on. That could have been another strategy, but again, it doesn't matter. And yeah, this is me figuring out my particle line. So I'm going to do 1 particle cannon diagonally, and then the other one is going straight down to finish it.
Particle cannon ready.
The new chem suits have just arrived.
Particle cannon activated.
Anyway, so that is how I beat General Alexander without building any units. Now, if you like this sort of thing and you want to see more, I do have a Command & Conquer playlist if you want to check out the rest of them. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed this one. I'll see you next time.
You
Bye.
are victorious.
It's not fair. One more superweapon and I would have beaten you, General. Challenge me again. I dare you.